Most people assume Australia and Canada feel almost identical: safe, polite, stable. Two English-speaking countries built on immigration, space, and a certain quiet confidence in their institutions. But if you spend real time walking through public spaces in both countries, your body starts to notice something your mind cannot immediately explain. A shift in atmosphere. A difference in how people carry themselves through a crowd. In Australia, public energy feels loose, unbothered, like the space around you has room to breathe. In Canada, it feels measured, intentional, like everyone around you has silently agreed to keep the temperature even. The difference is not loud. It does not announce itself. It is subtle. It lives in glances and tone and how quickly a stranger smiles at you. And that subtle shift changes how relaxed you feel without you even realizing it. You leave a city feeling lighter or more composed than when you arrived, and you cannot quite explain why. But the energy of the space shaped you. It always does. On the surface, both countries rank high in safety and quality of life. Streets are clean, infrastructure holds together. Crime rates sit relatively low compared to the United States. Public systems function with a kind of quiet reliability that residents often take for granted until they leave. Healthcare, transit, and public spaces generally do what they are supposed to do. And yet safety alone does not determine how relaxed you feel in a place. True relaxation is not just about the absence of danger, it is about social energy. It is about how strangers move around you, how they speak, how they react when something unexpected happens. It is the invisible current running through a crowd. It is whether the people near you feel at ease or on guard. That is where the contrast between Australia and Canada begins to show. Not in crime statistics or government rankings, not in the cleanliness of a street or the efficiency of a train, but in the atmosphere that lives between people, in the unspoken rules that govern how humans interact when no one is watching. In Australian public spaces, people speak with more volume, not aggressively but openly. Strangers joke quickly with people they have never met. There is casual interruption in conversation that does not feel rude, only engaged. Eye contact lingers longer than you might expect. Sarcasm is not just tolerated, it is a primary dialect. Emotional expression is visible and accepted without apology. Someone can be frustrated in public and show it. Someone can laugh loudly and not feel self-conscious about the noise they are making. You can disagree with a stranger publicly without the social temperature immediately rising. Conflict can surface and dissolve without ceremony. This creates a feeling of breathable social space, a feeling that people around you are fully present rather than carefully managed. It feels open in a way that is hard to articulate until you have experienced the opposite. The looseness is not chaos. It is comfort expressed through confidence, a collective willingness to be real in front of each other without requiring permission first. In Canadian public spaces, the tone is noticeably softer. Emotional expression is more regulated. People do not suppress feeling, but they tend to filter it before it reaches the surface. Disagreement is almost always buffered with politeness, with qualifiers, with a kind of verbal padding that keeps friction low. Strangers maintain clearer personal boundaries. The invisible lines around individuals feel more defined, more respected, and more expected. Conversations feel careful rather than spontaneous. There is a sense that people are choosing their words with some awareness of how they will land. Nothing feels aggressive. Nothing feels threatening. But everything feels contained within an understood social framework. The atmosphere is orderly in a way that runs deeper than just behavior. It reflects a shared cultural agreement about how to coexist with minimal disruption. That agreement produces real comfort. You feel held by the predictability of it. But over time, some people begin to feel the weight of that containment, as though the calm comes at the quiet cost of full expression. Psychologically, this contrast matters more than it might seem. When a society allows expressive behavior, when people speak loudly and react openly and show emotion without heavy filtering, your nervous system reads unpredictability, but it also reads authenticity. You know where people stand. The social information is legible. When a society prioritizes emotional restraint, when interactions are smooth and careful and consistently polite, your nervous system reads stability. But it also reads a kind of social caution that can feel like distance. In Australia, looseness signals comfort. The casual confidence of strangers tells your brain that the environment is safe enough for people to stop performing. In Canada, restraint signals safety. The consistent civility tells your brain that nothing unexpected will escalate. Both patterns reduce threat. Both lower stress in their own way. They simply use completely different emotional mechanisms to get there. One speaks through openness, the other speaks through order. And your body responds to both, whether or not your conscious mind registers what is happening beneath the surface of each interaction. For Americans, this contrast can be genuinely surprising. The United States sits in its own emotional register, one defined by performative confidence, visible inequality, and a kind of ambient social tension that residents learn to normalize. Arriving in Australia, the louder tone and unfiltered humor may initially feel confrontational. The directness can read as aggression before your system recalibrates. Then slowly, it starts to feel freeing, like you have been given permission to stop bracing. Arriving in Canada, the consistent politeness may feel immediately comforting, familiar but softer, safer around the edges. Then, over time, it can begin to feel distant, like warmth delivered through glass. Neither country is extreme in either direction. Neither is loud in the way that feels threatening, nor quiet in the way that feels cold. But the emotional temperature is calibrated differently in each place, and your stress response adjusts accordingly, often before you have consciously noticed the shift at all. Where you decompress and where you stay slightly guarded tells you something real about your own nervous system. So which country feels more relaxed ultimately depends on what your nervous system was built to prefer. Some people decompress through expressive openness, through noise and directness and the social permission to be unfiltered. Others decompress through structured calm, through predictability and softness and the quiet assurance that no one around them is going to break the unspoken agreement. Australia teaches you to loosen your social guard through casual confidence. It invites you to stop managing yourself so carefully by showing you that the people around you have already stopped. Canada teaches you to lower your guard through predictable politeness. It earns your trust through consistency rather than warmth. Both countries offer genuine safety. Both offer real quality of life, but they deliver it through fundamentally different emotional architectures. Different designs for how humans should move through shared space together. And once you have spent enough time in both places to feel that difference in your body rather than just observe it in your mind, you cannot unsee it. The architecture becomes visible, and you start to notice it everywhere.